walking around the neighborhood unless you got up in Glover's or Swagger style, man. So I appreciate y'all being here. Yeah, Will?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, appreciate y'all being here, man.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
We definitely do.
Yeah. Okay. So, hey, we want to go ahead and get into the next part of this. We're going to go around this room really quick and introduce ourselves.
Okay. I'm Kobe Harris, known as Cousin Kobe. I'm a speaker, entrepreneur. My store is next door. Fix your call.
Cool. Hey, welcome, Kobe. Appreciate you being here, brother.
Hi, I'm Lisa Glover. I'm the owner of Sexy Look Cosmetic and more. I'm an independent makeup artist. I travel a lot and I slay faces.
Hey, I appreciate you being up in here slaying them faces.
It's Justin Ring. I'm just a local citizen, man. Just want to see what's going on right here, man. Ask some questions to the candidate.
Oh, yeah. Appreciate you being here, local citizen.
I'm Crystal Kemp, and I am a nurse, a allied health instructor. I'm also a business owner in Columbia County. And I'm just here to see what the discussion is about.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, David Mew. I got to plug Manhood too. We're going to get it off the ground. We partner with Augusta Partnership for Children. I'm from Thompson, Georgia. Retired very in 20 years. I'm a community activist. I'm here for the discussion.
Yes, sir. All right, so I'm glad everybody could make it here. I appreciate y'all being here. It's no coincidence that we're here in South Augusta. South Augusta has a lot of history on this side of town. Growing up out here, my family used to live right over here across the street in Butler Manor. So we went to a lot of these local schools out here, Morgan Road, Spirit Creek, Glen Hills Middle School, Grew up in this area, and this area has always been right here next to Fort Gordon, right? So we've always had some, type of business, you would say, around this area. But as of late, I feel like it's been drying up in this area. And so one of the things I first wanted to talk about was on the business side was minimum wage. So at the federal level, we have set the minimum wage to $7.25, right? There are multiple states, numerous states, I should say, I think over 20 last time I checked, that have raised their minimum wage above $7.25. There are about a handful of states that are still at $7.25, and that includes Georgia. So what I want to ask to the group, how do y'all feel about the state of Georgia still being at $7.25? Because this was set in 2009, and we haven't really taken a look at that since then.
Yeah, so I'll start. I don't like it. Barely survivor. And work hard every day just to go home and be broke. I don't like it. I think something need to be changed, but well, I think
it's slave wages. What person, what family do you think can survive and thrive? Like inflation going up, you know what I'm saying? So we know about that, gas prices, rent prices, interest rates, mortgage prices, everything's going up but minimum wage. So it's like you want people to struggle. You want people to get into the streets, sell drugs. You want that violence. You want that crime because people got to eat. People got to survive. They got a family to feed. So that's an insult to a family, a grown man. And we know a lot of people ain't paying $7.25, but anything less than $16, $17 is offensive. You know what I'm saying? So like you asking for crime, you asking for violence, you asking for that because people gotta survive. So it's only one way to survive. We're gonna figure it out. And that's the thing I like about people. They're gonna figure out how to survive, but it's just the criminal system, they thrive off of that. They thrive off you trying to survive, you trying to make it. Because they know what you about to do because you need that money. You know what I'm saying? Unless you got 3 or 4 or 5 jobs. Now you hitting them on the other side with the kids. Hey, I'm about to throw you in jail because you left the kid at home or you brought your kid to the job. Well, I'm trying to eat. I'm trying to survive. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I think it's an insult. It's crazy. Yeah. So
let me add this because right now there's a bill. Well, actually, I think there's been multiple bills, but I know there's definitely one bill that has been introduced to the federal level within the House that's calling for $15 minimum wage. You just made a comment saying that unless you're getting paid $16, $17 an hour, then it's an insult. And I think the livable wage in Georgia right now is somewhere around $18. So to that point, the counter argument to raising the minimum wage that high would be that you have hurt a lot of small businesses, right? And I believe so far that's why nothing's been done at the federal level. So my question to the group is, how does that sit with y'all as far as business owners? Do you think that there's a good argument on the side of the small business owner to not want the minimum wage raised? Because here's the thing, when you raise the federal minimum wage, I'm not sure if you guys understand this, but there are exceptions to the wage that can be put in there, right? So currently, when you look at the minimum wage within the state, if you're a waitress, you can get paid less because you're getting tips, right? So you do have exceptions to the rule, but the majority will fall up under that rule. So how do y'all feel about that?
Well, I would answer with a question like how would it affect small businesses and in what way?
Yeah. So let's say if you're a small business owner and you pay 5 employees, right? If you're paying them $725, then you're responsible for paying them that $60 a day, that $300 a week, right? Times 5, right? Now, if I double that, then I've just doubled your expenses, right? As a small business owner, does that still make you a viable business where you're making money to the point where you can actually be a business, right? So a lot of small business owners are saying, we can't do that. In my line of work, I can't afford to pay you more than what I'm giving you, right? No matter what that is. And so that's where it gets sticky, because then once the federal government comes in, we put that floor there. We say, hey, the federal minimum wage is this. No small business owner anywhere is going to be able to come in, and have an exception to that rule unless the exception is written into the law, right? So that's where it gets sticky. So, but once again, going back to the fact that a lot of states have already passed their own minimum wages. I think there's a location up in Washington State. I think the minimum wage is like $20 an hour now, $20.86 or something like that. So it's federal can do it, state can do it, your local government can raise the minimum wage within a city or municipality. So it's really a question about how do we get the minimum wage raised, or how do we get to a point where it's no longer an insult to a family, right? Because if just taking care of one person, I'm not sure if you can do that for $300 a week, right? But then when you start saying, hey, having kids, now you're hindering that person from actually having a full life, right? That person has to have no kids or what have you. So that's just the way I look at it.
The business owners, small business owners, I'm not one, so I can't speak heavily on it. But you got to be strategic. You got to get your math right. You got to, because some of these small business owners thrive, off of this. They taking advantage of it. You know what I'm saying? So they taking advantage of it. All they have to pay you X amount of dollars. You know what I'm saying? So if you hire an adult, I can see if it was a kid, 16, 17, they ain't got no bills, they ain't got no responsibilities. You know what I'm saying? But you bring him an adult and we say, hey, I'm only going to pay you $9 an hour. And that's it, Like, that's an insult.
And that's why you have a lot of small businesses that do everything themselves, so they don't have to pay that extra person. Because for me, I do makeup, but I do other things as well. I make a lot of products. I make bracelets. I make corking tape. I make a lot of stuff. But do I need the help? Yes, but can I afford the help? No, because of me personally, I don't want to pay my person the minimum wage. That's an insult. I feel offended if I do that. So for me right now, I do everything myself as a small business owner. So hiring somebody right now is a no-go for me.
See, I think that they got to take into consideration.
Right.
Can you afford to hire somebody?
No.
When can you afford to hire somebody? Like, so that you can pay them at a rate where it's, affordable or, convenient for them, or just helpful for them to even survive in life. So.
And what I do, it's not a steady pace. Like one day, one month, I may be booming, and then the next month, I'm like, oh, Lord, I only have one clock. And it's like, oh, man. Oh, let me go clock in at, such and such right quick, because I still got to survive, and I have 2 kids. Yeah. So getting paid $300 a week, if I'm going to be broke, I would stay home and be broke, and then plus somebody clocking and be working like a slave and just be like, I only made $300. What I'm going to do with this? Car note, insurance, rent, light bill, cell phone bill, my daughter bills. Like, my daughter, yeah, she expensive. Like, you know what I'm saying?
So I asked the question: What job? What job is actually paying $7.25? What job? If we look right now, we look at Burger King, Wendy's, those type of places like that, right? Those are your normal minimum wage jobs. Those are
There is other jobs that pay that low, and that's for people who've gone to school and pay for education for a skill, and they pay CNAs $8 an hour. I know companies that get $16 and $17 an hour, sometimes $20 an hour, off of the CNA that they send into a home, and they pay that CNA $7 or $8.
Too, because I'm before I quit my job, I was a CNA and I worked in a hospital, and they tried me, and I was like, no. Y'all need me, y'all low staff. Y'all need me. I'm not stepping in this door if y'all not paying me $17 an hour. So at first they kept, no. And then finally had to, because they didn't have nobody to. And I'm a certified phlebotomist. So you have to pay for that certification too. They didn't want to pay for that either. So I'm like, what's the point? Like, and then when it was time to bring in another year, because the company bought that particular bill.
I know exactly what you're talking
They didn't want to pay for my certification. Now, when the original owner had, I was good. I don't worry about nothing.
But when it's purchased, they don't want to pay for your education for you to continue. They want to spend the money that you make working in their building to pay for that, but you help that business.
Exactly. And when I say I was on the clock, faithfully,
If you are a medical assistant, a CNA, or a phlebotomist, you are the heart of the office, because the doctor can't do nothing without you.
or the nurses.
Or the
So
nurses.
we are in the room more than the nurses go in there one time a night to give out meds and everything else with that patient. The CNA, the lab techs, the phlebotomists, all of them go in there. The nurses be on the computer looking at you like, well, go like, you won't get their meds.
So let me interject, because I think that y'all just touched on a really good topic. It's over here on my sheet of paper. We kind of skip it around, but I definitely want to touch on this one, because we're talking about healthcare, and we're talking about the numbers, right? The money that's associated with what they pay healthcare professionals. I actually sat in a room with CEOs from Piedmont and the other local hospitals not too long ago. It's about a month or two ago. And one of the biggest issues is that across the 72 proficiencies within healthcare right now, they're short in all specialties. And they were trying to figure out, how do we incentivize having these shortages across? How do we incentivize high school students to want to get involved in these healthcare professions? Now, wait a minute, because this is not just healthcare. It's in every tech, well, not every tech, but most of our tech positions, not just healthcare, cyber, all that. We have huge shortages. So I want to go back to y'all with this question. How do we incentivize this? Because workforce development is a huge thing, right? Like, you got to be able to motivate the workforce by training them, giving them skills that are actually marketable, right? So that they can actually, pay off those student loans and all that great stuff. So question being is, in y'all mind, one, is it where it should be? I'm guessing the answer is no. But then two, how do you fix it? In your mind, how would you fix healthcare?
Pay attention. You got to really pay attention to what's coming up. Well, I don't see.
Baby.